Okay, just wow. Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm doing all right. How about yourself? Hang on one second. Okay, just wow. Okay, just hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm doing all right. I apologize. How about yourself? Wow. Luck and Coffee just fell off the edge of the earth. 1 second. From 27, it's lost $10 in the last 5-6 minutes. So I was looking at that, and Benzinga Squawk came on and was given news on it. Wow. So thanks, guys. Thanks for holding on. Okay, just hey, good morning, Carlos. I apologize. How about yourself? Wow. I guess Luck and Coffee Carlos, just go ahead and off. Spy news real quick. Yeah, so future after yesterday's good size drop, futures kind of were pulling up overnight all night, and then just a few minutes ago when we came on the air at 8:30 Eastern, the jobs number came out. The expectation was somewhere 3.5, 4 million new jobless claims for last week. That number came in at 6.5 million. 6.648 million new jobless claims. So last week, almost double last week's number, which was 3.3. I guess it is double essentially last week's number, 3.3, which that was a massive record. So now we've doubled that for last week. The market was, it dropped a little bit and bounced off and then bounced up, but now it's selling back off again. The reason that I paused for a second right at the beginning when we went on the air on YouTube was one of the other people in the classroom had called, our chat room had called out Luck and Coffee. LK is the ticker on that. That it was beginning to sell off hard on heavy volume, and our Benzinga Squawk was giving an update on news on that. So we'll get into that in a few minutes when we get going through the list. But they were trading pretty steadily around $27, and in a matter of just a few minutes, they're now down to 1760. So hell of a drop there. Looks like they're being investigated for some potential malfeasance. Hey, Carlos, on YouTube saying they don't have any sound from you, buddy.
All right, hopefully that fixes it. Okay. Okay, I think I got it. So many different stuff here going on with all these buttons and mute buttons. So hopefully that fixed the problem there. All right, guys. So let's start as usual with our top five on both sides, gapping down and gapping up. Let's start with gapping down this morning. As you can see, Norm was just talking about LK, CCL still taking a very huge hit here. FOR. Still FRO, excuse me, still on here. This was here yesterday, I believe, too. IFR was here yesterday. Also another CCL ticker, CUK. So let's just get into the top five that are down this morning, starting with LK. So LK, guys, taking, as we just talked about, a massive hit here, down 47%. So this will definitely be on our radar. It's very active, great pre-market activity. Looking forward to see what this is going to look like in the next couple of minutes. Going to remove these levels and find some levels in a second when we get to that area. So again, Lucky here taking Luck and Coffee taking a very, very nice drop. Let's look at CCL this morning. This one is down 9.3. I mean, CCL is probably the only stock that has been kind of trending with the SPY, right, with the market, that had the bounce. That's probably going to go lower than the first point they had. A lot of the stocks kind of haven't gotten there yet. But this one is, again, the news on this is just horrible. We're making a new low now, hitting the low at 786. So this will be definitely one to watch. But we still have shares for short. We had them yesterday. Yep, we still do. We still have shares for short. It is going to be on short selling restriction, obviously, as soon as the market right now and as soon as the market opens as well, because just the drop it had yesterday. So I think this will be definitely on our list. This stock has been amazing to trade and watch. I mean, it's just been so much fun to get into this one. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Next, we have on our list FRO. FRO was on our list yesterday. I didn't
CCL, just real quick. CCL is trading on still on that news of their debt and equity financing that they're putting together in order to try to get through this, and they priced that secondary offering of shares at $8. So it's just above where they're trading now. I'm curious to see if it puts any kind of a floor on it or not. I mean, it doesn't look like it at the moment, but we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. Let's keep an eye on this one again. Let's just look at the volume. 18 million shares traded so far this morning, and we can expect this one to be very, very active today. So we'll keep an eye on that one. All right, next, let's take a look over at, we have FRO. This one I didn't really like yesterday, and I don't like it today neither. Doesn't look great. Horrible pre-market activity, guys. Just very choppy.
It's foreign garbage.
Very low on the volume, so we're just going to stay away from this one. And again, you can tell here the volume is very light on this one as well, so let's stay away from that one. Let's look at IFRX. This is another one here. This one is pre-market, not looking all that great. Still very low volume. I didn't like it yesterday. I still don't like it today. Had a nice gap up huge. I believe it was 60% or something crazy like that. Sold off for the most part. Again, I'm not seeing a great pre-market activity now. And usually for these type of stocks, I'm always careful when they have that first big gap up. The second day could be very, very choppy. So again, I'm going to stay away from that one here. Let's look at CUK this morning. This one's also part of CCL. I prefer to watch CCL. It's going to have more volume, more activity. So again, no need to watch both of these. CCL is really the one that we trade on a regular basis. Next, we have Zoom. Zoom here dropping down a bit, 5.7. Again, so the market kind of dropping it down because this stock has been doing pretty well with a lot more people using the service, including my daughter. My daughter yesterday had a conference with her teacher and a couple of classmates, and they were reading together, so that was fun to watch as we continue doing this homeschooling stuff. But yeah, dropping down a bit here, 5.8, 193,000 shares traded. Pre-market starting to get going and build some good pre-market activity here. So I do like the way this is looking today. Go ahead,
Zoom is still getting hit on these security/privacy concerns that came out a couple of days ago. So that's what's going on there. And on top of that, yesterday they got an initiation of coverage by an analyst of the price target of 150. So it's kind of where it's been anyway. And why, if people are thinking it's only going to be where it is now, why buy it? So we're getting a combo deal there, but it's mainly on the security and privacy issues.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that's really going to hurt these guys with that information, especially with more people using this software now. That stuff needs to be tied down a bit. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on.
Is going to be zero by the time we get over with this show, man.
Yeah, it will. This thing, holy cow, down 63%, still running. Let me ask you, Norm. So in the pre-market, they don't halt stocks. I mean, I've never seen it. I do see stocks get halted, but for news, not for actual price drop.
There's no volatility halt in the pre-market. There can be a news halt, but not
Right.
volatility. So correct.
Very, very interesting stuff. All right, so good. So it's good to know that. Man, this thing is just dropping pretty bad. I just saw a message here on YouTube that some people again took a very hard hit on CCL yesterday, and it is happening, guys. A lot of people are trying to time the bottom. You know, they're looking at, hey, this stock is $10, it can possibly be 40, and looking at the long term. But again, this one, it has definitely not found the bottom. Continues to drop as well. Very active this morning. So just got to be careful, guys, when things are not don't try to catch a knife. Don't try to find the bottom. That's also a recipe for disaster. So be very careful there. Here's a EURN. I think this is also forming choppiness all over the place on the daily. So again, I just don't like the way this looks here. We're gonna skip this one. Let's go over down to NCLH. NCLH is also a cruise line ship. Here, this is Norwegian, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And
Norwegian Cruise Lines.
Yeah, NCLH. Why is this thing not? There we go. Got to update here and update there. Perfect. So they are down 4.7 this morning as well, getting close to the lows that they had a couple of days ago. So we'll see what happens here. Pre-market starting to get going, guys. Some good volume. Could be a sympathy move with CCL. Who knows? But the market is also dropping. So we'll definitely keep an eye on this one. I think this one might be a better one to trade today, depending on what CCL does. I mean, CCL is just, wow, just really taking a hit here. All right, one more, guys, and then we'll go over to what is green. APT. Let's see what that one is doing. This one used to pop up in our list quite a bit before. Right now, they're gapping down 4.4, 558,000 shares traded. Pre-market activities, it's all right, not the best. I'm not really a fan of it now. This is 11.3 million shares flow. Now, they had a big day yesterday. They could have a possible continuation if they can stay above this previous day close. But we do have shares for sure on it as well. But again, it is a low flow stock. We'll keep it here for a low flow team. APT this morning. We'll throw it on here. Oops. APT. Here we go. And then we'll see what comes out of that. All right, guys, let's look at a few of the ones that are green this morning. Starting with BMRA. This is a low flow stock, only 7 million.
You better hurry up while they're still green.
Yeah, right. They're up right now, 26%. Let's see if they can hold that. 571,000 shares traded at the moment. Pre-market's not looking all that clean, guys, though. This is not looking all that great right now. So I'm not going to add this one to my list. Also, it's a lower flow stock sitting at 7.7. I'm going to skip this one and go to the next one. Is a MBL. So MBL this morning. This one is, what do we have here? This is up 10%. Horrible pre-market activity. Very light on the volume. So I'm just going to get, not going to watch this one here. The daily does look interesting, guys. It looks like it might be trying to put in a possible breakout here above 7. If it does, we have some pretty nice room to run here. So again, could be a good possible for later on today. But then right now, I'm just not seeing all that great stuff from it this morning. So let's skip on to the next one.
All these oil companies,
yeah,
NBL, EQNRs of foreign oil, BP, SLB, Oxy, HAL, XOM, ET.
They're all here today.
All those are trading because president is trying to intervene in the oil situation between the Saudis and the Russians.
Yeah.
So that's popped up oil prices just a little bit. We'll see if it does anything.
Yeah, we'll watch the best ones out of this, which is usually Oxy. Oxy is probably the best one that trades pretty well. So I'm going to keep that one. And even this is not looking all that good, guys, to be honest. So I'm just going to avoid that one. Let's head down over to CODX. This is a low flow stock that has been very active in the past. They have a nice, beautiful pop here.
LK is down 75% now. It's $6.49.
Let's just take a quick peek at it, see what's happening here. Holy smokes. For those that are just joining us, Norm, give us an update on what is happening here with LK.
So it was just announced that they're investigating the CEO or COO, excuse me, for possibly posting fraudulent transactions. So cooking the books, making up sales, making up numbers.
Yep, this is not going to be good. So, again, just a disaster for LK this morning. By the time we're done with this pre-market show, like you said, it will probably be $2 or less. The way it's going.
The level 2 looks like it just wants to keep going down.
Yeah. CODX this morning. Again, this one had a great pop a couple of days ago. Volume is horrible. Pre-market is also horrible. So we'll skip this one. Let's go down to another one that is not one of these oil companies. BP, HAL, XOM, AMRN. This one was active a couple of days ago. had a huge drop, if you guys remember that. Did have a green day yesterday. Today it's got some activity. This could be a good one to watch, guys. This was down huge. And again, the daily looks interesting. I'm not sure if it's going to be any time to start closing this gap, but it could be interesting in what it does the next couple of days. So I'm going to throw it on here just to take a closer look at it. We'll find some levels for it and see what we can get out of it this morning. Again, it's got great volume, 1.6. It is up 4.8 after having a nice green day yesterday. All right, guys. Norm, what do you like besides LK this morning?
I like Tesla, but it's kind of a weird play. It's not going to be an opening play for me. So we're going to get auto numbers here in the next day, or they'll start rolling in from various companies. Tesla will report its March deliveries either today or tomorrow. So when we get news on that, it should trade very well. Don't know which direction, but like everything else, I'm not going to try to decide or predict which direction it's going to go.
Yep.
I want to let the price tell me what it's going to do and go from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm going to have that on my list in addition to this other stuff that you've talked about. Other than that, I haven't been able to do much research because watching LK is just like passing a horrific traffic accident that I can't take my eyes off
right.
of.
Yeah, no, this is wow. Look at the volume. And again,
it's about to go under $5.
Yeah, there's no halt on this stuff. So if any trader is in this overnight and they slept in today, that is going to be very, very bad. All right, guys, let's look at let's take a look at what you guys like this morning. Let's start over here with our chat. What do you guys have that you like this morning besides what we already have on the list? I see someone mentioning AMD. Chris MC has AMD definitely on his list today. So AMD this morning, what do we have going on? We are 1.3. We have some really good volume, 941,000 shares traded already. Big drop here, obviously, with the Spies also dropping, although it opened up green. So definitely worth taking a look. I like AMD as well today. I think we can definitely have that on our list this morning. Slightly above the previous day close at the moment. Let's see if it can stay above this 1% or if we're going to go red here. What else we have? JD. We'll take a look at JD. JD's not doing all that much right now. Make sure. Yeah, it's not doing all that much right now. Pretty light on the volume. 66,000 shares traded. Pre-market is not all that active just yet. It could end up doing something later on in the day, but for the moment, for an opening play, as we saw on Tesla, might not be the best one right now, but it could have some activity later on. Let's look at we have JD, we have CCL. Yeah, CCL is definitely on our list. I think this is one that's going to be very active today as well. SU for a possible pop above 17. Let's take a look. SU this morning. Us, an energy company, again, really light on the volume. Daily is interesting though. I do see what you're looking at here. This looks great for a possible pop. You do have some room and some levels to run here, but overall for a stock at the opening of the bell, might not have all the juice just to get going now with regards to volume. AAL, let's see what the airlines are doing. We'll take a look at a few of them. Here's American Airlines at the moment, 741,000 shares traded, up 2.2, giving some back here in the pre-market like a lot of stocks are after these numbers were released shortly around 8:30 or so. So again, got some negative news there with the numbers, and you can see this one's reacting to it. Let's take a quick look at what the Spies doing. The Spy did go red, came back above the previous day close right now. Let's see if it can hold that here. But again, it did drop. It actually gapped up pretty nice this morning. I think about 1.5 or so, but giving it back now, just slightly green at the moment. Let's take a look at United Airlines, another airline, see what's going on there. Again, not great volume. Let's take a look at one more, Delta, just to cover the airlines. Delta has a good pre-market activity out of all of these. So Delta might be one to watch. You see, got some good volume, got a nice pre-market activity here happening on it, so this could be a good one to watch for the airlines today. All right, let's look over at YouTube, see what you guys like this morning. Okay, we have, yes, crashing pretty bad here. It's trying to hold 375. I'm not sure if it's going to be able to do that. Let's look at Roku. Roku was great yesterday. Man, I took a trade on Roku yesterday. Unfortunately, I got stopped out because the spread was just so bad on Roku. I'm not sure if anybody else traded it, but again, the spread was just tough on it yesterday. So again, Today, right now, the volume is not all that great, but we've seen this stock can really take off. Pre-market is a little bit all over the place. Could be a good possible. I do like the daily on it. We were sitting right at an area of good support, which we've seen tested a couple of times here. So definitely can take a look at Roku. Hopefully the spread is going to be better this morning because it was
Guys,
really
I want
horrible
to say
yesterday.
something real quick
Yep.
before you keep going on this. LK, there's some people saying they scalped it for $1. Be super careful on this stuff. You can get stuck in a hole if something is going on. And so on YouTube, thank you for mentioning it, and that's why I'm bringing this up. It could get a T12 halt, which is essentially the regulatory agencies requesting additional information. It could get a news halt. Those halts can be indefinite. So we've seen stuff halt for months on end. If you happen to take a position in this, you could be stuck in that. I've seen them last 8, 9, 10 months. I've seen stocks never open from that halt. So just know that that could happen if you're trading this.
Yeah, this is one of them here. And actually now it looks like they just
Which was the one last year that some people were trading and it halted?
this one
Hunt.
here.
Was it Hunt?
Yep, right here.
Yeah.
Hunt went up from one day from basically $10 to 20. The next day opened up a gap at 35, went up to 95, got halted. This is going back March 26th. It has never opened again. So again, you don't want to be in that situation of last year. Yeah, this is last year. So again, guys, it's man, this is just scary. I wouldn't not touch this. It's fun to watch. I gotta say, it's fun to watch. But if you are gonna touch it, just be very, very.
And it's
careful.
not that you can't make money in it, but the risk of getting tied up and not being able to get out of a position one way or the other, I wouldn't want.
Yep. All right. Excellent.
Ricky talking about dries. Yep. Good old dries.
Yeah. Yep. All right, guys. What else we have on YouTube here? So we have KO. Let's look at Grub. Let's look at KO. See what's happening here. KO, not great volume, but usually does not have all that volume in the pre-market unless there's news going on this morning. It is slightly up 0.5%, but the pre-market is not looking all that great here. So again, I don't see anything too exciting about it right now. Let's look at Grub. Grub we looked at yesterday as well. Grub has a great daily. Not much action right now, very light on the volume. Same thing yesterday, but look how it traded yesterday. Man, this was pure chop. There's nothing clean about Grub that took place yesterday. So again, you can kind of expect that today, given the type of pre-market looks exactly the same to what we are probably going to. I'm sorry, pre-market. Yeah, this was pre-market yesterday, exactly the same to what we have now. So the daily looks good, a possible breakup, but it's going to need some news and some really heavy SPY action towards the north side to get going here. So I'm going to skip this one for now. Let's take a look over at LFIN. Oh man, LFIN. Yeah, this is not a good one. But yeah, I think you're probably talking about stocks that have been horrible and probably dropped, but that one was not a good one for today. All right, okay, we have NBL. So NBL is part of all these energy companies that are moving today, that are gapping up a bit as the president is trying to kind of get somewhat involved, regulating things a little bit. Oxy might be the best one to watch this morning, and even that one is not looking all that great right now, pre-market wise. But this is one that trades probably with one with the most volume of these type of companies. So if you want to watch this one could be it. But again, right now I'm not seeing anything too exciting. Also, these are foreign stocks for the most parts, so I just try to stay away from those. All right, guys. APA. Let's do a few more. APA, and then we'll do WBA. APA's scraping here $4. Pre-market right now, it's okay, up 7.5. So got some good volume, 563. But this 563 is not creating anything too exciting on here, volume-wise. Now, on the daily, this thing had a huge drop. It is trying to hold $4 here, created a base, tested that twice already on the daily. Could be in for a possible pop, but again, guys, I'm just not seeing anything all that good on the daily. I'm sorry, on the pre-market right now, especially with this volume. I'm not creating some good pre-market activity. Could be a little bit concerning. All right, folks, let's call it there, WBA, and then we'll go back. We'll come to announcements, and then we'll go back to doing some levels, and if we have some time towards the end, we can look at what else is moving today. WBA Walgreens this morning taking a drop of the highs of the pre-market. It is still up 1.4 this morning. This stock is not easy to trade, guys. Unless there's some news on it, it can be very, very choppy. So I tend to stay away from this one. But we do have a little drop here this morning. We do have some volume above 100,000 right now, up 1.4. We can take a look at it, but actually, I'm not seeing anything great unless there's some news behind it. It's probably just going to move with the SPY. I'm not seeing anything all that exciting at the moment. All right, folks.
YouTube's calling out Microsoft like their head is on fire.
Is their head on fire?
I don't know, man. But then you got Microsoft. It had a massive drop. It's just trading with the market. I'm not seeing anything particularly special on it.
Yeah. That's what
maybe I'm wrong.
Now, if we see
BA,
this drop here,
I'll keep an eye on that. You asked what else? You probably already looked at it.
Let's take a look at the SPY. Yeah, very, very similar to what the SPY is doing. And this is going to be the same probably for, let me guess, MU with less volume. Let's look at AMD. Same situation with AMD, guys. Big drop down here. So everything kind of pretty much, you look at AMD here, look at SPY, pretty much the same action happening here. Unless you're CCL this morning, you got your own thing going on. Unless you're LK, these are two really good ones with their own catalyst. Zoom as well. Has its own thing going also. Everything else is really following what the SPY is doing. Delta Airlines, same thing. Everything gapped up this morning. They're still green. They're still holding on to barely to some green here. But again, just really following whatever the SPY is doing at the moment. All right, with that said, guys, let's get over to announcements. I'm sure we'll be talking about the great webinar we had yesterday, man. That was something. Let's take.
Yeah, it was special.
All right, here we go.
Oh. All right, guys. So all this week, since we're trying to put out as much great content as we can right now, since everybody's at home and trying to find things to watch. So one of the things that we've added for this is our market close show. If it's at 3:30 Eastern to 4:15, so the last half hour of the market, the first 15 minutes afterwards, cover any earnings that come out. Earnings season is just right around the corner. That's Peter and Brian. Mike's joining them as well for a little commentary. Not only that, but they sometimes, if the market's quiet, might dress up and act ridiculous. So tune in there. We try to keep it professional in the morning, go into the mind with a good day, but the market can tear you to pieces, and by 3:30, unless you're in a trade, I don't know, they lose their mind sometimes. So anyway, check them out. That'll be airing every day currently. We'll probably scale that back, but while people are looking for stuff to do, that we'll probably be airing that one every day. Guys, last night, as Carlos mentioned, we had a phenomenal success webinar with Stephen Goldstein. Performance trader, performance coach, trading coach, ex-professional trader over 20 years. Talked about all of the insanely difficult, battered markets he traded through, and gave a lot of great insight. In order, once again, to put some content out there, help out the trading community, we are leaving that on YouTube. So you do not need to be a lifetime member. It'll be in the education section where the other the success webinars are. But you can also watch it on YouTube. Check out the link to that. Watch that. It was just phenomenal. So thank you to Steve for joining us last night. Then next week, the success webinar Wednesday at 8 p.m. is going to be charge up your trading using Peter's lightning bolt pattern. So he'll be discussing that pattern, that strategy that he uses at 8 p.m. next Wednesday. Next Tuesday, we have our own in-house psychologist, Dr. Katz. He'll be talking about how to improve, how to get out of the fear of taking trades. So that'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. And then, guys, if you're watching us on YouTube and haven't been in the chat, you can do so for a discount. Use the promo code PREMARKET24. When you check out with the intro membership, it'll discount that trial for a week. Doesn't auto renew or turn into any other kind of membership. That's it.
All right, thank you, Norm. Appreciate that. All right, guys, let's get into this list right now. We have Microsoft. Let's add it on here since it does look interesting. But again, we have a lot of stuff that's trading pretty much similar to what the Spies is doing. But let's keep an eye on Microsoft. So starting with the top, let's just kind of scan this through. So LK obviously on our list this morning. This one it continues to drop here, trying to hold 375. This thing is down 82%, guys. I mean, this is massive. Next, we have CCL. So I like CCL here. We'll take a look at that one. Zoom as well has got a nice daily here as well. Kind of lost this level that it was holding for a couple of days. It's 135 was a good area of support for them. They had good resistance off of this, and then they were able to hold at least 2 times. It was tested here and here, and today they broke below that. So good pre-market action. Again, just a reminder, this stock it can trade a little bit spready. It can also be a little bit wild on the pullback. So again, it is still tradable. Just be mindful that you need to probably have a little wider stop to not get stopped out of a really good move. You might see a pattern forming, ABCD, open range breakup, but just give yourself a little bit more room and you can manage your risk by taking less shares. Again, but this is a good stock to trade, guys. I like the way it's setting up now. It looks like it might want to head a little bit lower, but we'll see what the action gives us at the open. This one is foreign. I'm going to remove this one, EURN. NCLH looking good as well, kind of below the previous day close right now. At the moment, it is down 678,000. So good volume on here. We can get some good levels off the lows a couple of days ago as well. AMRN, this one had a big drop. Good day yesterday, so yeah, worth watching this one. Here's AMD again, kind of pretty much similar to Microsoft, following whatever the SPY is doing. Still green, holding on there. Delta. Looks good. It's probably the one with the best pre-market activity at the moment. Again, very similar to what the SPY is doing. So I'm going to be watching this one as far as Airlines for this morning. Here is Roku. Roku's not doing much right now. Didn't do all that great yesterday. It did have a good pop, but again, the spread was just not all that great. So it had a nice pop off the open, sold off pretty hard, came back and gave you a nice push up, then could not hold the V up. You can see a beautiful drop here. Was a beautiful short. But again, just the spread was a little bit wild. So let's see. I'll keep an eye on it. We'll do some levels for it. See if it wants to hold this area of support that it built yesterday. Or we're going to get a bounce or we're going to drop from there. WBA just took a drop here. So this is starting to become pretty interesting. I'm not sure if that's coming off any SPY movement. Let's just check what the SPY is doing. SPY still holding the previous day close line. So WBA worth taking a look at here. Now down 2.5. You did get a nice drop here, so worth seeing what's going on there. And then we have Microsoft as a possible as well. All right. I mean, I really like all of these right now. I think we can make a selection on what to remove. Maybe Roku. Roku's a good possible, but again, the action right now pre-market wise is pretty light, so we can get rid of that one. Between Microsoft and AMD, I'm probably going to watch AMD. Both of these are really both. You can't go wrong with either one, but I think they're both going to be following whatever the market is doing. So I'm going to get rid of Microsoft at the moment. WBA is interesting now after that drop there, losing the previous day close. Delta Airlines will be the airline I watch today. Yeah, I think this will be good. I can remove one more, but we'll decide that a little bit later on. I mean, LK is on here, guys. I'm not sure if this is going to even be somewhat tradable with the amount of action you're going to get right at the open. You might have to wait a little bit for this to settle down before you take a trade. Now, if you have the experience to scalp quickly, get in and out without hesitation, by all means, take advantage of this opportunity. But if you do not, just avoid that, because if you don't have that quick reaction and skill set, it can really burn you big time. So let's start with LK. Let's do some levels here. Our low of the pre-market, which I probably is not going to hold too long, is 374. So we just build that low right there. Let's go back on our weekly, because we probably haven't been here in some time. Let's go monthly. Are we below our IPO price? Yeah, we're below our IPO price. So going back here, this thing opened up on I believe it was May or June. So here's our price target. The next level we have on the daily is going to be this 1394. Above that, we have a nice level here at 1825. Again, we're all-time low, so there's no other levels down here besides this 325. Right now in the pre-market, we have such a big drop that we're leaving these levels that we had here in our daily. You can mark down some of the areas where you lost some type of momentum. Here at 1019, mark that down, and then another one here at 732. These are big moves, guys. $3 a pop, right? So again, you can definitely mark those there. Let's see if we can get some kind of squeeze going here. It is doing the best it can to try to hold this 375. level, so we'll see what it can do there. Again, CCL guys, this one has been pretty hard hit with the news of everything going on and how, you know, they're borrowing money, and just the financials are just not going to be great for this company for some time here. The low of the pre-market right now is 763, a little lower than the level we had prior when everything just dropped down and finally found the base, and we got a nice little bounce into the last couple of days. That level was 807, so we're going to mark that down just in case we get some movement around that area. Above this, guys, we do have some levels in the pre-market. I do like this level here in the pre-market, 824, and the reason is you have several days bounce, several candles bouncing off of that. It's 825, so I'm gonna mark that on there. Now towards the top, guys, highs and low from the last 2 trading days. You do have the previous day close here as well, and then above that you have 1018. Again, I don't think we'll get there. This thing is taking a nice hit here. Took a nice hit yesterday as well, sold off pretty bad. Are we at all-time low here? I believe we might be. Let's go over to our monthly chart. Yeah, I think we are at all-time lows for CCL. Yep, all-time low, guys. So there's no levels beyond that 760, which is your low of your pre-market. Let's head over to Zoom. We're getting a nice bounce off the pre-market lows right now on CCL. So we'll see if that can hold up, if it can rally and do something at this time. Let's look at Zoom. Zoom this morning, guys, the daily looks great. I like this drop here. It looks like it wants to lose it. I know this was the low of the pre-market at some point for some time, 128. So I'm going to mark that down because we did get several bounces off of that, or at least try. 1, 2, a possible bounce, couldn't hold, came back down and broke down from this 128.45. You can see the drop happening here. Also around that 128.45, you have several days opening and closing and hitting that day on there as well. So it's definitely a level you want to have on your charts. Now let's see what new pre-market low it creates. I think this is probably going to keep dropping. If it does, we'll come back and create a new market low. But here I do like this level of this daily here. It's going to be 123. Below that, you do have a beautiful drop down here at 119.10. That's another one on there as well. Let's head over to what we have here, NCLH. NCOH is the next one on our list. The lows for this one when the market was dropping was 710. That's the most recent lows right on there. Above that, you have around 848. You have another level of support that you found here. And then our pre-market low is sitting at 895, also getting a bounce off that low as well. Towards the top, guys, plenty of levels, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days got you covered. Also previous day close right in that area. Let's take a look at AMRN. This one is starting to drop, so it kind of created a high all the way up to 560. Could not hold. Got several rejections off of that level. Trending down nicely, though. It's got a very nice pre-market action at the moment. As far as levels, pre-market low is sitting slightly above the previous day close, 510. Previous day close sitting at 498, and below that you have the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days, which happen to be the 2 trading days where we had this huge gap down. So we'll see what happens there. Here is AMD, guys. So AMD is definitely on my list. I think this is trading very well with the Spies, a stock that you can get in and out of quickly. You can manage your risk nicely, and it's at a good price level, $43. So you can definitely also manage your buying power nicely as well. Great level here, 42.37. You got several days. You can see here you got a really wide range, a very interesting daily, by the way. Several days just kind of bouncing off of that with some pretty nasty wicks and very small bodies on the candles here, but you can clearly see 42.37 is the level there that we can have. Below that, you're gonna have this one all the way down here. In between here, there's really no good levels in here. Again, there's just nothing clean about this area here. But you can watch out for 41 and 40 as possible areas where you can have some loss of momentum, some support happening, some covering in a small rally, short squeeze, but potentially. Towards the top, guys, you do have plenty of levels, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days got you covered. The pre-market high very close to the low from 2 days ago. So I don't think you really need to mark that down. If you want to get fancy, you can. Let's do 44.94. That's fine. 44.95 there, you can mark it. But overall, I think you got plenty of levels on here that got you covered. All right, let's look at Delta. Delta Airlines is probably one of the airlines that got the best volume and a great pre-market activity. Let's just quickly take another look at United Airlines, see what they are doing today. I always like to keep one of these airlines up because if news breaks out, you know, you have your levels ready, at least on one of the airlines, and you could possibly take advantage of it. So United Airlines, not as much volume. Delta Airlines got more, and then let's look at one more. American Airlines. American Airlines got some volume here, 850. So either one of these two guys could be good. For some reason, I like Delta right now. I think it's got a great pre-market activity, slightly more than American Airlines. I definitely want to keep an airline in my watch list throughout this time. We do have a great level here, 2065. Then below that, we do have the most recent lows at 1923. So some really good levels here. Let's see if we can hold this previous day close. Sold off pretty bad yesterday. It did hold this level here. So let's see if we can hold it right now as well, as the SPY continues to drop here, leaving the pre-market low. We're red now, about 0.5%. Let's see if we're going to go down for another leg today. Again, we had a pretty red day, not pretty red day yesterday, but it did look like it was going to open up pretty well, pretty strong, and then we kind of sold off for the most part of the day. All right, guys, WBA this morning again continues to drop. So I'm not sure what's the news on this one, but this is dropping. Could be with the SPY as well. But again, this is dropping nicely, so definitely worth taking a look at. 230 right now. It is down 7.1. We do have a level here at 41. Another one down over at around 40.57, and looking at these daily levels on here.
WBA had earnings this morning.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, it seemed like they started moving before the SPY started dropping. They got going here, and I think someone mentioned in our chat room WBA, but they didn't say it was earnings. So thank you for that. All right,
they beat their top and bottom line, but their guidance was they're like most companies don't know what to do with guidance, so that's their issue.
I think anybody looking for guidance is going to be,
they pulled it.
It's going to be vague.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They pulled guidance. They don't know what to do with it.
Right.
Exactly.
So we have our low at 39.89. Let's see if we have some levels, some most recent levels down here. We haven't been down here obviously in a while, like many companies have not. We see we do have some stuff here. I see we're going really far back now. This is our weekly chart, guys. We're in the area right now. We have some previous consolidation going back to 2013. We can do some levels off this weekly. We can do 38.60A as well, and we can do this one right on here, which is 37.52. So we'll keep those on our list. But overall, again, those are really old levels. We want to look at the price action. We do have our pre-market low right now, which we're trying to hold. Let's see what we can get going here, and we do have a level at 39. We look out for 39 as well. We do have a level at 38.68, but these whole dollar numbers, as I mentioned before, are very important also. All right, so that is our list right now, coming up on 9:13 Eastern time. Someone mentioned BA. Let's take a look at BA. Again, just another great stock that's moving with the SPY, with the market. So this one also is a good possible. You got your BA, you got your Apple, you have your NVIDIA, you have your AMD, MU. MU usually tends to have lighter volume. As we're seeing right now, not the best pre-market activity. AMD has a great one at the moment, and AMD has been good to trade. We've been watching this one quite a bit, so don't get fooled by these candles that look, this is a very choppy daily, but we have been having some really good intraday moves here in the chat. So last one on here, APT. This is again a low flow stock, kind of selling off right now. You do have shares for short on this one. Our low of our pre-market is sitting at 15.53, so I'm going to mark that down there. Below that, you do have a level over at a 14.55, and then plenty of levels, highs and lows from the last two trading days. Big green day yesterday. Let's see if this can continue to hold. All right, so sound is breaking up. I'm not sure what's happening.
Fine for me.
Yep. So if your sound is breaking up,
guys. So part of the issue is I hear Carlos loud and clear. They could be throttling internet speeds in certain areas, so that's probably a reason for that. We've got support in the room. I'm sure he'll look into it, but
all right, guys, so that is what we have. Again, we have a really good list. Is LK zero yet? No, LK still holding.
All right, that's enough about the audio, guys.
All right, so we're having some...
We'll look into it. Thank you.
Yep. All right, guys, let's wrap it up here. We're gonna reset the audio in a second, see if that helps in our chat room here. But guys on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern time. Have a great trading day today. Let's end the week strong. So be sure to catch us here 8:30 again tomorrow. Take care, guys.
Take care, guys. Trade safe.